Hello, Houston. I'm Samantha Watson. I'm the founder of the SAMFund for young adult survivors of cancer, and I'm so sorry that I can't be there with you for today's event. I'm so grateful on behalf of the SAMFund and our whole young adult community for your participation in this campaign. To tell you a little bit about my background, I was diagnosed with cancer for the first time when I was 21 and the second time when I was 23, and both times when I went through treatment, I realized that what made my experience really hard wasn't my treatment, and it wasn't being bald, and it wasn't even my diagnosis. It was the fact that I was in my 20s, and I was supposed to be planning for a career, and I was supposed to be dating, and I was supposed to be starting my life as an independent woman. And instead, it all just stood still.
I heard about the SAMFund through just some internet research. I didn't realize how few resources there were available for young adults that were battling cancer and critical illnesses. So I just began to start doing some research. I needed any help, any and all help available, and found the SAMFund and applied for a grant. And to be honest, I don't remember the amount that I was awarded, but I know that it was significant and it was a huge help to me. Not just because it helped me pay my bills, but because it was such an encouragement, and it showed me and demonstrated to me that I wasn't alone, and that there were so many people in the same position, battling illnesses, but also so many people who were willing and able to support people like me. So it was a huge blessing, and I'm so, so thankful. Even 7 years later, I'll never forget what that meant to me.
I was very, very lucky. A lot of the reason why I started the SAMFund in the first place was that I had a tremendous amount of support on my side. And so when I finished, I didn't have a stack of medical bills like I could have. And I had a friend who helped me get a job. And I had a friend who was looking for a roommate and an apartment that was affordable. So on a financial and practical level, my transition was a lot easier than it could have been. But I started meeting so many young adults who didn't have that type of support in place at the time when they were transitioning out of treatment, and their experience was the total opposite, and they were floundering. And I realized that if all I had to do to pay it forward was raise money to be able to give out money to help young adults overcome some of these challenges, then I could probably do that.
I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia back in 2010. I had a bone marrow transplant from a donor from Germany. That was real difficult to get through. At the same time, I was diagnosed with cancer. 2 weeks later, my husband filed for divorce. So it was just me and my 2 children. So after surviving cancer, it was real tough learning how, once they clear you of cancer, it's basically like, okay, go live your life, and it's very difficult to try to find a new normal and what to do after the fact. And there's a lot of grants and scholarships for cancer patients, but not so much for survivors. And I found the SAMFund through Googling. I had a caseworker at Texas Oncology that kind of led me to the SAMFund site, and I applied, and it has been amazing for me. Getting a SAMFund grant changed my life in a huge way. They paid 2 months worth of my rent, which allowed me to set back an emergency fund for me and my children. And it wasn't long after that my son broke his arm, and that really came in handy to be able to not have to worry about money. That was one less thing that I could stress about in my life.
How did you find out about it when you were going through it, that it even existed?
I had a lucky Google search. But that's one of the key missing parts about any of these sort of programs. How does the next person find out about it? You. So it may not be that all of you will be in the position to donate, but you're all in the position to spread the word. And that's what's key. It may be that you yourself need it. It may be a friend of yours. It may be your uncle's second cousin's best friend from work. But that's one of the primary ways. And the other way is specific corporate relationships. So like any service, word and marketing is key. The presence of the SAMFund now is a lot stronger than in 2007 when I found it. But it's key to keep spreading that.
And I had no idea how much the SAMFund was going to explode over the past decade, but the reason why we're in the position that we are, and the reason why we've given out well over $1 million in grants, and the reason why we have this amazing community of SAMFund alums who have benefited from our programs is because of you, and because of campaigns like this, and because of opportunities that you create by donating, by volunteering, by becoming part of what we're doing to really help young adults who are struggling to move forward with their lives. So if you ever doubt for a second that your support is making a difference, I can promise you that you're making a huge impact, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for getting involved.